they write it this way in your notes here. There's ax squared and then plus by squared. So a and b are the numbers in front of x squared, which is 1, and the numbers in front of y squared, which is 1. When a equals b, which in this case equals 1, that's how you know that it's a circle.
Okay,
And that's it.
got it.
All right, so
Next.
do the same thing for number 2. Go ahead and graph it, and then I'll provide the explanation for why it is what it is.
Okay. I can't even okay, hold on. Okay, so what is this? What's the name of this on English? Hold up for a quick second. So I grabbed it. I just don't remember the name of it because it doesn't look like anything that I've seen so far.
Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and snip in the 4 possibilities here.
Yeah.
All right, so here are the 4 possibilities you got. So take a look. You're looking at the red line. Red, 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 red.
Yeah. I think it's a parabola.
It is a parabola, yeah. So this one, much like the previous one, you look at what's in front of x squared and what's in front of y squared. And what you notice is that there's actually no x squareds here. So since a equals 0, when a is 0, there's no x squared. This is why it is a parabola. That's the explanation. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to number 3. Same thing. Want you to graph it, and then we'll talk about why it is what it is. You can expect that it is either an ellipse or a hyperbola because the other 2 have been accounted for.
Okay. Okay. It's a
Hyperbola, yep, good.
hyperbola.
And here's how you know. Now you do have to do a little bit of manipulation on this one. You actually need to have everything on one side of the equation. So it would end up looking like this: y squared minus x squared plus 5x equals 6. And because the a in front of x squared and the b in front of y squared, a is -1, b is +1, and a times b is -1, which is less than 0. And that's the indication of how you classify this. So if you get any of that down, that's probably good. I would also include a graph of each. Although I know it's just to just look at it with the equation. Always good to have a graph if you can.
Yep.
All right, so that does take care of that section. And good news is we are on to the review assignment.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to start, by the way.
Let's take a look at the first question here. We've got, so it's all about the determinants and conic sections. So a lot of the same stuff that we've been doing. So this one says to calculate the area of the triangle with the following vertices using these. So if you recall, we have to write the ordered pairs for each of the vertices, and then a 1, 1, 1 down the side. And we are going to calculate the determinant of this matrix, okay? But the way we were doing it is we replicate the first column, and then we replicate the second column. And hopefully you remember that we were doing this diagonal multiplying. So you have to do the 3 on the bottom here, multiplications. So this is where you multiply the 3 numbers: 0 times -9 times 1, -9 times 1 times 0, 1 times 3 times -2. The first two are 0 because there's a 0 in there. The last one is -6. And if you remember, you add these up. You add these up.
Yeah, so it'd just be -6.
Yes. And then you go the other direction. And you really, first glance, like, oh, I can't believe I got to do another determinant. But there's 0 in the first two. 0 times anything is 0. There's a 0 there. So this is 0 again. 0 minus 27.
Which would just be -27.
Yes. So the determinant is the bottom minus the top, which is 21. But you have to remember that the area of the triangle is 1/2 the determinant of the matrix. So you have to take half of this number.
Got it. So it's not A.
Not a, you have to take half of the result.
All right.
All right, so number 2 is really, really similar. First thing is to write the ordered pairs: -8, -2, -1, -11, -1, -2, 3 ones. And then from here, you have to replicate the first column. So you have to rewrite the first column, rewrite the second column, and same thing. You've got to be able to do the multiplication here. So I'll ask you to step in here and do the multiplications, and I'll check the results.
Mm-hmm. So the answers are 88, 2, and 2.
Good. Okay, so you have to add those together. That's 92. Then you have to do the same thing, go in the other direction, unfortunately, which means more multiplication. Like that. So go ahead and multiply, please.
Okay. So here the answers. It's 11, 16, and 2, and when you add those together, that's gonna be 29. No, wait, yeah, 20.
And you take the top, the bottom number and subtract the top, but then you have to take half of it.
I'm gonna just use the Desmos graph and just not to reference some scientific real quick. Uh, 31.5.
You're good. There's your answer. All right, let's keep going here. One more of these, believe it or not. They give you I mean, they're really not that difficult. They're just you gotta do the same thing over and over again. And you know, eventually you're like, all right, I got it. But one more. So you write the ordered pairs -5, 1, 2, 9, -5, 9. And then you always put a 1 here. And then you replicate the first column, second column, like that. And then same thing here, you got to find the product of those three numbers.
Okay. -32 is what I got. And
Are you talking about the whole thing or just the
I thought
individual?
just the whole thing.
Okay. Good. I like that you're getting all that done. Good. Keep going. Do the other ones.
Okay, so I got -88 in total.
Yeah. So -45, -45, and +2 is -88. And key thing here, remember that it's bottom minus top, one of the exceptions in math. And then you take half of this result to find the area.
Okay. -28.
28, good. All right, now we're not quite done with matrices, but we're almost done. Next question is a different problem, but we did do it kind of the same way. It says, show how you use matrices to write an equation for a line that passes through the following points. This one is a slightly different setup. You write X and then Y, then the ordered pairs. But again, like the last one, you put ones there. And you do have to find the determinant. So you replicate the first column and then the second column. So when you multiply here down the diagonal, it's minus 10x plus y minus 4. And then you go the other direction here, you multiply diagonally this way. Negative 10 minus x plus 4y. And then there's a little bit different now. You do take the bottom minus 10x plus y minus 4. You subtract the top though, and the top is all in parentheses here like this. But the difference is you're setting this equal to 0. So let me know when you get caught up to here. I know there's a lot to do. You gotta multiply, all that, but then we'll solve it together.
Okay. Okay, so I did what was in the parentheses. It's gonna be positive 10 plus x minus 4y.
Okay, so we're gonna combine like terms now. So there's a minus 10x and a positive x, that's minus 9x. Positive y minus 4y minus 3y. And then you have a minus 4 plus a 10, that's plus 6 equals 0. So now we have to solve for y. So to solve for y, we're going to move the 6 over, and we're going to move the 9x over. And so it's minus 3y equals 9x minus 6. I'm just switching the order. And then you divide everything by negative 3. So y equals minus 3x plus 2.
So that would so are we completely finished with number 4 because one of the answers on there is D. So
Yep, that's it. That's it.
now just making sure, you know.
Yeah, now the like the way we did this is, I don't know the right analogy, but it's like, your car is in the parking lot and you decide to walk around the store to get there. Like we went the long way to do this, and you would never do this, but it does work. I guess
Yeah.
it's nice, but uh, anyway, they have their reasons. So here we go. Number 5, we're hitting a group of questions where you're going to graph these. So I just want you to graph this, and I can grab that reference if we need, but yeah, let me know what you come up with.
It's a hyperbola.
Agreed. Good. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for the next one. You just want to graph it. Let me snip it in. These are going to go pretty quickly.
When I graphed it, like in Desmos, I think I must have done something wrong because the graph isn't shown on my screen.
So zoom out or zoom in until you see something.
There we go. It's a circle.
It is a circle. Great.
All right.
All right, here's another one for you to look at. Same thing. Go ahead and graph it.
It is a ellipse.
Okay.
Number 8.
Same thing here. Just graph it.
It's a hyperbola.
It is, yeah. All right. Well, it would be nice if the entire lesson was those, but there's
I
a,
really-
a f- there's a
They're,
few more.
they're the easiest.
They are, yeah. So here we go. What is the standard equation of the circle whose center is -5, -4? So this is h and k, and it's x minus 5 squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. This is the equation of the circle. So I'd like you to substitute. Well, actually, I messed this up already. Why did I write 5? Okay, that is not right. It is not 5. It is h. So I want you to put -5 in for h and -4 in for k, and then 3 in for r, and tell me which one you come up with.
X minus 5 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals r squared. Right, yeah.
So which answer are you going to select? A, B, C, or D?
Okay, now this is D,
You're going with D. Okay. So
right?
problem with D is 3 squared is 9. So it's definitely not D.
Oh, so then, oh, okay, so it would be B.
Okay. I want you to graph B and verify that it has a center at -5, comma -4.
Okay. I don't, I guess it isn't that because when I grab it, it's all the way in like everything's positive.
So you have to remember to substitute in the number. So it's x minus a -5.
Okay.
And then what happens to the two signs, the two negatives?
Okay, let's see if this I might have now I can see it. So the center is negative -5 comma -2. Wait. mm, I might have done something wrong. Center is -5 comma 4. Okay. Nope, I did it right. No, it's correct. It is B. I was just looking at the wrong area. Okay, I did get it wrong.
The answer is not B. The answer is not B. It's and you said it correctly. When you graphed B, it didn't have the right center.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was trying to show you, and maybe you weren't looking at the screen, my screen, when you put in the H and K, you're putting them in for the letter, and you have to change the signs or simplify the signs.
Yeah.
All right. So the correct answer is A.
Oh, okay, cool. What are the center radius of a circle whose equation is x squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 144? I can just put this into Desmos and just
You
see it.
can. You can, yes.
Okay, so I put in the graph. It's a circle, obviously, because it says it in the. Now I just need to figure out what the center is. Oh dear Lord, now this one is actually. Now I'm actually struggling with this one.
Can you at least figure out the center? That would be a good place to start, because that could eliminate some answers.
Yeah, I'll try to find center. At least the good thing with the graph this time is that it's like I don't know how to say it. It's pretty. It's nice because it's like in between the line, but that's not gonna help me. I think the center is 0 comma. I think it's 0 comma 3.
Okay, I would agree. So that gets you down to two answers. That's B or C. So you have to decide between those two numbers for the radius. And it might help to look at the general form here of it.
Okay. Well, I think the radius will be 12 because 144 is 12 squared.
That's
And
right.
so, and when it's telling us the question, the answer's already been complete. So we're just trying to uncomplete it, like
Yeah,
just reverse
good.
our thoughts.
Okay, so let me quickly show you something on Desmos that I guess this I probably should have showed it to you earlier, and it will help. So there's a couple of things you've been doing here, and I've been trying to get you to sort of like visualize where the center is. So what you can do is you can graph an ordered pair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And sometimes that helps. Now let's just say you graph the wrong one, like 1 and 5. You would say, oh, well, that's not quite in the center. But you could sort of say, okay, well, it's oh, there it is. It's 0, 3, right? That's one approach. You can sort of just start plotting points. Another approach is to graph some lines. Like if you graph y equals 1, does that go through the center? And you might say, well, it looks to be a little low. So what about y equals 3? And you say, okay, yeah, that looks like it cuts it right through the middle. Same thing with the other one. You can go the other direction, x equals 4. Well, that's too far right. That's too far left. So you can use these horizontal and vertical lines to sort of figure out where the center would be. And it also works for ellipses and hyperbolas. You can graph these lines to help sort of visualize, or you can just use your mouse and sort of roughly sketch where it would go. All right, so let's go back to your problem set here. Let's see if we can get number 11 done. You are going to graph this again. Big surprise. But this is a good way to learn it. You graph it, kind of see what's going on here. The vertices, there are 4 of them. And that means that A and B is out because there's only 2 there, but you're either going to get a shape that looks like this or one that looks like this. And you're looking for the top, the bottom, the left, the right, the top, the bottom, the left, the right.
All right. So it's similar to the one on the left.
Okay.
And the points are 0, 2, 3, 0, 0, -2, and -3, 0.
Okay, so which answer best matches that?
C. Actually, wait, no, it's not C. I'm sorry, I just immediately said it without thinking. It's D. Wait.
It's easy to
I think I did
choose the wrong one, even though you have the right answer, which is
Oh my
terribly
God.
frustrating.
I always do that to myself. It's like I need to trust myself more. It's C. Or just stick with C. Yeah, I need to start trusting myself when it comes to answers. When I said the right one, I should not hesitate.
Okay, so number 12 here, just like the others, I definitely would recommend graphing it to help you answer the question. I'm just writing it out here in a way that's maybe a little easier to see.
All right. Okay, it's a wait, what's it called? A parabola.
It is not a parabola, it's the other one. It's the
Oh, sorry, a
hyperbola.
hyperbola. I need to zoom
Yeah.
out more. I only saw one. There we go. Now I see it.
Okay, and you need to see both so you can figure out where the center is. The
Yeah.
center is going to be that place midway between them all, between them.
Yeah,
So-
it's the center's -5, 5.
okay, so that is not one of the answers here. So
Oops.
since you have the multiple choice, you could plot each of those points until you see one that looks reasonably close to being in the center.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll just do that. Okay, the answer is A.
Is A, I agree. So the graphing is really really important, and you're doing great. The next problem here is also about the graph. And you do have to graph it again. So you do have to graph this and decide whether it opens up or down, or I guess they say to the sides, which is weird. What do you say? Does this open to the sides or does it open up or down?
It opens left and right, so
Okay.
sides. But now they're
Okay.
asking if the term is negative.
And which one is negative? Is it x squared or is it the y squared?
It's the y squared.
It's the y squared, yeah. Good. The next problem is essentially the same, meaning same approach. You just graph it, determine whether it opens up or down.
Well, if the last one was the same thing, wouldn't it also be the same like graph, like the same shape as last time?
Yeah, I recommend not making any sort of assumptions and just graphing it.
Yeah, I'll
I
still
I
graph.
still graph these even though I probably, I mean, who knows how many thousands of these I've done, right? But it's good to get a picture. It's always good to draw it out and think about.
Okay, this one is different. This time it opens up and down.
Okay, so that means it's either A or B.
It's A.
It is A. Good.
Right.
All right. So we've seen this in the last two review assignments. 15 asks you about something that you have not seen at all in term when we've been doing these review assignments. So let me direct you to the um, reference sheet and let me pull up the equation of the eccentricity of the ellipse. So it's not as bad as it seems. It's this C over A, but it's like what's C, what's A? So this one has a little bit of work involved. So we just rewrite it a little bit. X squared over 25 plus y minus 3 squared over 9 equals 1. I mentioned, I think in the previous hour, that the bigger number is a, or a squared in this case. And then the smaller number is b, or b squared.
Okay.
So if a squared equals 25, what is the value of a?
The value of A is 5.
Okay, same thing for what's the value of b?
3.
3. And you're like, well, we don't need b. Well, we kind of do, because to get c, it's a squared plus b. I'm sorry, a squared equals b squared plus c squared. So a is 5, b is 3. Could you solve this for c squared for us, please?
Sure. By that, you want me the graphic, correct?
You don't have to graph it. This is just an equation.
Oh, all right.
5 squared is a number, 3 squared is a number.
So what I'm gonna do first is move 3 squared to 5 squared to
Okay.
get c squared by itself.
I
So
would square the numbers before you move them, because then you can
yeah,
combine them.
I'm gonna do that first. It'd be 25 equals 9 plus c squared
Okay, good.
minus 9. (16) equals c squared. So, but then when c
Okay.
squared equals c, so 16 equals c.
But didn't you just say that 16 equals c squared?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So what does that make the value of c?
Oh, it makes it 4.
C equals 4. Good. So now you have everything you need. The eccentricity is c divided by a. Your value of c is 4. Your value of a is 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have it.
Oh, all right. So that means the answer is B.
Yes. All right. Let's keep going on here. We've probably got time to do at least one more question. So 16, we have to do using Framer's rule. But it actually just wants one part of it, which is nice. It actually doesn't even want you to solve this, which is weird. But the first matrix is the 5, 3, -1, -2. That's the D, if you recall. So that's the coefficient matrix.
Right.
Now
So,
to find dx, it's a little bit different though. You take the right-hand side and you put it in the place of the x value. So instead of writing 5, 3, you put 2, -1, -1, -2.
all right. Now we do the butterfly, and then we
Yes, yes.
5 times 2, and 3 times -1. So 10 minus 3 equals 7. And the same thing for the other one. 2 times 2 is 4. -1 times -1 is just 1. So that just would be 5. So 7. Oh, sorry, -4. Wait,
2 times -2 is -4
yeah, negative.
minus,
Oh, -5. Sorry.
there you go.
So now 7. So 7 minus in parentheses -5 because
No, that you just need dx.
oh
Dx is all you need
oh
for
okay
this one.
so -5. Oops.
Okay,
I was about to do more steps than I was supposed to.
yeah. Okay, now there's 4 questions left, or we're really close to being out of time. 17 you can do on your own, 18 you can do on your own, 19 and 20 as well. There's nothing in here that you can't do on your own, but beyond this, it looks like there's a skills assessment,
Yeah.
and it looks like you log into something, which I'm happy to help with, but it says it takes about an hour to complete the test. I have no idea what that means. Could be an hour, could be, 2 hours, could be 10 minutes. So we don't really know. Looks like we're gonna need at least an hour to finish if you want to help with that. Um, you don't want to rush through. It looks like you'd have to retake it if, but you can also save your progress as well. So is what I'm seeing. So I don't know, probably would recommend scheduling another hour or 2 hours to finish, but that's kind of up to you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and stop here.